5th of July. So, and with that said, I hope you all had a wonderful 4th of July. We had a good time. See you, show of hands. How many of you went to the event? Okay, yeah, I was there. Sure. Okay, that was fun. Very good. All right, the time is what? 3:02? 3:01?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Meeting is now called to order. Roll call, please.
Mayor Baker,
Yes.
Councilmember Watts is absent. Councilmember Smith,
Here.
Councilmember Webb,
Here.
Councilmember Platt.
Here. Very good. As you know, state law requires a quorum to have a legal meeting. We have a quorum. We have 4 council members present. So I wanted to bring that into your thought process. And the first item, number 3, is approval of the minutes from previous work session council meeting. Council members, you have that packet in front of you. Give you a minute to look at those before we move on.
Mr. President, I move we approve the minutes from the June 20th work session.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Very good. The minutes from the previous work session of June 20 are approved. Presentations, moving on to item 4. The first is item 4A, presentation Semmes Fire Rescue Monthly Report with Chief Brooks.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Council. June's monthly report, our fire calls that we had that last month, 73.09% were rescue and emergency calls, 6.91% false alarm, 7.27% service calls, 9.45% good intent calls, 1.82% hazardous condition no fire, and 1.45% fires. Broken down into major incident types, we had 4 fires, 201 rescue and emergency medical service, 5 hazardous condition no fire, 20 service calls, 26 good intent calls, and 19 false alarm, for a total of 275. Those broken down into incident types, we had 1 building fire, 1 outside rubbish fire, 1 trash fire, 1 special outside fire, 1 rescue EMS incident. 14 rescue EMS incidents, 94 system medical EMS crew, 8 emergency medical service, 52 EMS calls excluding vehicle accident with injury, 12 MVAs with injuries, 1 motor vehicle accident involving a pedestrian, 20 motor vehicle accidents with no injuries, 1 gasoline or other flammable liquid spill, 1 gas leak, 1 electrical wiring equipment problem, 2 power line downs, 2 service calls, 1 person was locked out in the vehicle, 1 public service assistant call other, 1 public service call, 15 assistant invalid, 12 good intent calls, 22 dispatch and counsel en route, 2 smoke scares, 10 false alarms, 1 central station malicious false alarm, 1 bomb scare, 3 system malfunctions, 3 alarm systems sounded due to malfunction, and 1 alarm system activation, no fire unintentional, for a total of 275. Our training for the month, we had 184 company drill training hours, we had 28 continuing education, 47 hours of driver operator training, 10 hours of fire and life safety education, 104 hours of firefighter health and wellness, 176 hours of hazardous materials training, 33 hours of officer continuing education, and a little over 30 hours of pre-incident walkthroughs of our businesses, for a total of over 612 hours with 27 personnel. For the month of June, our fire inspector inspected 19 businesses: Alpha Insurance, Anytime Fitness, AT&T, Complete Pool Care, Discount Roofing, Dollar General, Domino's Pizza, Exxon Mobil, Hank's Fireworks, Holly's Pawn Shop, Jules Bar, Lenny's Soap Shop, Mattress Depot, Orchard Barbershop, Subway, TNT Fireworks, USA Fireworks, USA Fireworks on Lot Road, and Verizon Wireless. Turnout times are still looking good. They're even getting better. This month, Station 1 had a 52-second turnout time. Station 2, 56 seconds. Station 3, a minute, 16 seconds. So average turnout time of about a minute and 1 second between the 3 stations. So we're right on mark, right there at a minute where we want to be. Our total response time, Station 3, 7 minutes and 62 seconds. 7.15 Station 2, and 6.73 Station 1. And then we had one mutual aid call, 5.72. So we're right at that, getting right at that 7-minute mark where we want to be. And even you can see Station 1 is falling below that, which is outstanding. Some of the things we did this month, we completed 8 hours of hazmat awareness and operations training. That's something that we have to do every year for ISO. Every single one of our personnel completed that. Monday, I don't know if you drove by Station 1 on Wolf Road, that has been opened up. They ran their first call there out of that station Monday afternoon. We conducted a hurricane tabletop exercise, and I'll elaborate more on that in a few minutes. We had some good turnout from different agencies, and just want to thank Letitia for putting that together for us. Recognition of third shift, had a cardiac arrest, June, I think it was June the 20th. The guys were over there working at Station 1 and received a cardiac arrest, responded within 2.5 minutes they were there. They started performing CPR, rescue breathing, and those guys did a real good job. We recognized them last week with the mayor an award ceremony. So these guys do these heroic things every day, and I want to recognize them. Open house and ceremony at Station 1. At Station 1 on July the 19th, we want to have an open house and show everybody our the upgrades and unveil our new sign there at the station. So we're going to be sending out some invitations to certain people, and all the citizens of the community are welcome to come by. It's going to be at 10 o'clock. And I just wanted to put that up there so I wouldn't forget. Public Works has done a great job for us. They have saved us a lot of money. They have probably, saved us $15,000–$20,000 alone just in labor, and so they have really helped us out on these stations, and just want to thank them publicly, and Jason for his crew and everything, especially Mark McCardle. He's the guy on the construction crew over there at Public Works.
Eric, could we give the Public Works and Fire Department a big hand?
Absolutely.
Thank you all very much.
I know that you have firefighters out putting in smoke detectors. How is
Yes,
that coming along?
It's coming along good. Lieutenant Watson is here today to give presentation on our fire prevention program, what we've been doing up to this point, and what we've accomplished. So he'll fill you in on that.
Okay.
That's going great. We had set a goal to install 100 smoke detectors in the Semmes, city limits in the Semmes community.
Mhm.
So we have almost reached that goal, and that's
Good.
going real well.
Good, very good.
Any questions?
Council?
Good job, thank you.
Thank
Have
you,
any
Chief.
left for senior citizens?
Yes, sir. If you don't have one in your house, or
We got it,
we'll sure come and install one.
just teasing, thanks for.
Very good, thank you, Chief. Next presentation is, again, you.
Yeah, I just want to elaborate on the tabletop exercise.
Yes.
We had Glenn Brandon from Mobile County EMA was there to be our facilitator on the hurricane exercise, and I thought it went real well. Councilman Platt was there, and of course she's married. But it basically presented us with a timeline of when a hurricane was going to hit 120 hours out, 72, 48, 24 in landfall. And we pretty much discussed what each department, what each organization that was represented there would do. And so I thought it went real well. I think we're a lot better prepared now than we were a couple months ago. We've established our guidelines and procedures on the way we do things. And we're getting some of the resources that we've asked for, some mattresses, MREs, bottled water, that kind of thing. So chainsaws came in the other day. So I feel, a lot more comfortable now than I did a couple months ago where we're at.
Good.
We had representation from Mobile County SO, the fire department, City Hall, which has never been part of our hurricane tabletop. We had Mobile County EMS, and of course Mobile County EMA was there.
Right.
So I thought it went real well, and we're going to have some more exercises and get better prepared.
Now, that was a great session for those of you who attended. I learned a lot, and that's the whole idea, is you exercise some of the mechanics of a potential disaster scenario, and makes it hopefully much less painful when you have to do it for the real thing. So I believe we're in good shape in terms of preparation. Very good. Council comment?
No question?
Very good.
I will add one thing.
Sure.
The tabletop exercises are really, fabulous. And as we identify any shortcomings or any equipment that may be lacking, they're getting that equipment. And Mr. Franklin has access to, I think, an emergency management budget that was set up sometime in the past. And we need to take a look at that and make sure that there's money there for that purpose, because that's pretty much how they've been able to. Jason here,
Yes.
isn't that pretty much right? Jason? So we need to take a look at that and make sure that budget is there, because they need to be able to do exactly what they're doing, go get what they need for emergencies.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Mr. Webb, any comments? Mr. Smith?
None.
Okay, very good. Moving on. Jason, Public Works report.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Like Chief said, we are working on getting some items for emergency preparedness. We had a budget from last year that we didn't spend any money on. I think it was $10,000 or $15,000, and we're starting to look at things like the mattresses. We've ordered the mattresses, air mattresses, MREs, bottled water, and things like that. So just to keep in storage until we're ready to use it. Anyway, back to the Public Works report. Just to get you updated on some of the things going on. The resurfacing job started today. They started resurfacing Morris Hill Road and Oregon Street over there by the splash pad. They finished Oregon Street and should finish with Morris Hill today or tomorrow. They started on the drainage work on Don and Pollock Streets, which are over there off of Crater Road. So they got a good start today. A couple weeks we should have all that finished. So good job. there. The second project that's gonna be coming up, that you guys voted for recently is the Redstone West-South drainage improvements and resurfacing. That job is being designed right now and should go out to bid at the, right about mid-August. So, at the request of the city council, we're gonna do this a little bit different. We're gonna open the bids at a regular session meeting, if that's okay with y'all. So all the bids will come in, and we'll just award it. Not, we'll really award it, we'll just go ahead and open it here so we can, so everybody will know what the prices
Absolutely.
are, and it's all on the up and up.
Very good.
But that job's gonna be mainly, the main part of that's drainage improvements. We got some really sharp, steep slopes there that are kind of unraveled over the years that we really need to take care of. There's a lot of nursery traffic on that road, so it's kind of just tore the roads up. And there's heavy equipment being parked on the sides of the roads, and tearing up the shoulders and the edges of the asphalt, so.
What road is that?
It's a Redstone.
Redstone.
If you're going down, south, down Fire Tower, then your right-hand side. Down there by, Ralph Rushing Nursery. So that job will be coming out in the next couple of weeks, and, we'll hear more about that one. The next thing we're gonna talk about is the Moffett and McCrary intersection. Everybody sees this. I get a lot of complaints on this one, because it is right in the middle of town. Unfortunately, the biggest complaint is the red light there, and the reason is that they take it off the control loop, and it goes back to a timer. So every signal has to go through a timing process, rather than in a normal situation, if there's nobody in line, the light won't turn. So right now it's got to go through this whole period of time, and everybody gets upset, especially on Fridays when all the traffic is there. But unfortunately, during construction, you have to have it like that, so there's nothing we can do about that. So.
Any completion date?
I talked to the inspector today. He said they're looking at August, but it really depends on the weather. Like today, they were able to work about a half a day, and the bottom dropped out.
August is close.
Yeah.
Good.
They're almost finished with the widening on the south side of it, and then they'll switch over to the north side, do that widening, do the turn lane going to McCrary, and then they'll jump in the middle and work on that median. So, halfway through it.
Good. Good. We're getting there.
Yeah. And the last thing Chief kind of touched on was Fire Station 1, just to let everybody know, we finished the drainage work. Most of that was right along the front of the engine bays. That got taken care of. It's worked good. We've looked at it under some very hard rains, and it's doing exactly what we wanted it to do.
Amen.
So it was a success. We were gonna patch some of the vinyl on the front of the building, but we got started on that, and the old vinyl was so bad, we just had to redo the whole vinyl. We got it all done pretty cheap, so it's still under budget. So that's
Beautiful job on the
Yeah,
bridge.
they did a great job.
That was wonderful.
Um,
For those of you who don't know, we did that in-house.
Yeah, all done.
We had an issue with water flooding into Station 1, and with our own resources, correct? And our own talent in-house, they corrected it. And I went over there, Mr. Smith, I think was with me, we went over there during the last monsoon, almost, I guess you can call it the daily monsoon,
Yeah,
and it was flowing beautifully away.
yeah.
So just tremendous.
Good. Yeah, they did a great job.
Looks professional.
Took a little bit longer than we hoped for, but because of the rain, but I
Yeah.
think we saved about $15,000 on that project. If
Thank
we'd had to hire it out, it'd cost about $20,000.
Thank
We were able to do it under $5,000, including the vinyl.
Keep that up. Keep that up.
So, we got a little bit left to do. The only thing we have left to do is put a little bit of sod down where we had to tear out some grass and make a couple little flumes. And we have to put a little bit of gutter up, but we should be done with all that by tomorrow.
Okay. Station 1's up.
Station one's ready to go. Recently we voted on private roads, the city taking on private roads. We have one in the chutes, Shannon Lane off of Ward's Lane. The chairperson of the committee over the subdivision has been working with me and has been getting a lot of stuff on his end ready to do this. We're at a point now where we can start talking about cost estimates and what it's going to cost. When we get all that together, we'll bring it back to the council for a decision on that.
Great.
The last thing I have is a while back we submitted applications for some more of the sidewalk grants. There were 12 applications received from AlDOT and from the Mobile Planning Organization, and we submitted 2 projects just to see if we could get them, and both of our projects were selected. So
Yes,
if,
that's very good news.
if everything goes through, we'll we'll be able to finish the sidewalk job at Fire Tower Road, take it all the way up to the Walmart red light. So that'll give us,
Yeah, we just received the letter on that, and tell me if I'm correct here, but that will allow you, once it's finished, to walk on the sidewalk all the way from CVS to Walmart.
yeah.
Can't beat that.
CVS Walmart.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, from basically from McCreary, actually, if you want to go from Honor Park all the way to Walmart, you could.
Yeah.
And then the next phases, over the next few years, we're gonna try to get all these neighborhoods tied in, so we're working on the main route now, and then,
Sure.
once you get off the main route, then you can start getting all the feeder subdivisions. But people love them, but I've had a lot of compliments from
Oh,
the
yeah.
sidewalk.
Yeah. Especially in the cooler months.
Yeah.
They have a lot of
People are
traffic
using
on it.
Yeah.
Great.
That's all I had. Any questions?
I have a question. I'm concerned about that traffic light situation, McCrory and Moffett. I wonder if we could go, the extra.
Which one now?
McCrory and.
McCreary?
McCrary, sorry.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry about that. I am concerned about the light. I wonder if we could go an extra step and investigate what backup, even a manual operation of the light or something, because we really have a tremendous amount of traffic coming through the next 60 days or so. So we can see what other alternatives there are.
They would probably have to, determine, they could probably shorten the cycle on certain turning movements, but that'd be something I'd have to do. But I can talk to somebody at Allied and see if they're taking care of it.
That would be
'Cause
a
it
good
is kind
idea.
of-
That'd be a good idea.
It is a pain to sit there in this lane going north and south and watch the green light and the turn lane sit there and nobody's in it, so. But, then again, if there are people in it, it's short and they're gonna complain about that, so. we'll take all that into
If
consideration.
you shorten the movement time, you're gonna have people left, get there and they can't get out. They'll have to wait till end times. I've thought about that and watched that and used it, and it would be hard to do anything with it.
Yeah,
You can do nothing there that'll make everybody happy.
that's right.
Well, if we could investigate a little bit more,
Sure.
it might even cost us money, but we've got several million people to be traveling through that intersection in the next couple of months.
They could maybe look at peak times and see if there's different ways of doing that, but yeah, I'll investigate that.
Thank you.
But eventually, the new project, there'll be cameras out, so that'll take care of all of that. All right, any other questions?
Anyone else? Mr. Platt, any questions? Very good, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Jason. Next will be our fire prevention update, Lieutenant Tim Watson. How are we doing today?
Good, how y'all doing?
All right.
Chief want me to come here and give y'all a little update on what we've been doing on fire prevention. This past year, last 2 years, we've got to where we've been with all the daycares. They've got to the point where they're looking forward to us every year. We're already established with them. We see about 300 kids in the daycares. We go to the elementary school. Last year, we didn't get to go to Semmes Elementary. We got a new principal there, and she was just getting established, so she didn't want us to come in, but said she's looking for us to come in this year. Did do Allentown, where we saw about 350 kids there, and we'll end up seeing about 300 at Semmes Elementary when we go there this year. We also do senior groups. We go to the senior center, Baytown Apartments, and they have apartments. When we do senior groups, we don't just do fire prevention, we also do fall prevention. One of the big problems we have with the elderly group in well, just about anywhere is people that fall in the home getting hurt. So we also work with the elderly, give them tips on how to be safer in their home so they won't be falling and getting hurt that way also. We also have a Facebook page. I believe some of y'all have seen it, have been on there. We try to keep everybody updated. Once a month, we try to remind people to check the smoke alarms, make sure they're working. We also give other safety tips. We don't do just fire prevention. We try to do life safety tips. We do driving tips. We let people know about the burn ban that comes in every year. Just different things. What do we do? Leave child in cars during the heat. Just warned about different safety issues. We try to drop a couple safety hints a couple times a month. Just keep people aware of what's going on. We've been working with Walmart lately. They've asked us to come in and do some safety things June is their safety month, where they, once a week, they try to do some kind of safety thing inside the store. They got us come in on June 17th, so we got to go in and pass out flyers on fire safety and speak to people about that. They appreciated that enough to where they asked us to come back in on June 22nd. We talked about driving safety that weekend. And coming Saturday, we're gonna be there talking about, giving people flyers on safe lifting techniques also. So we cover a little bit. We don't just do fire safety, we're doing a little bit of everything. One of the things we're doing this coming Saturday is, we're kind of there for dual purpose. We're gonna be helping them out with the safe lifting project for them, but we're also gonna be trying to do some education as far as what it takes to run the fire department, the kind of money it takes. We're gonna be videoing people as they come up. We're gonna be asking them, we're gonna have our gear out there, our fire trucks, and get people just kind of guesstimate how much this stuff costs. And most time, people really underestimate what it costs to run a fire department. And so we're gonna educate them on how much our fire gear, our air packs, fire trucks, all that weighs, how much that costs. We're gonna try to video all that and try to get a little video we can put on Facebook or whatever to try to educate more people. The smoke alarm project that we're doing, like she said, we're well on our way to our goal of 100. We've already put in around 70 so far this year. And we've probably got about 20, 25 more people signed up. We're waiting to get some more smoke alarms in from Red Cross. We got some from Red Cross first of the year. We ran out of those. We went to the manufacturer, got some more. We got some from an agency in Mobile. We ran out of all of them. So we're doing very well with those also. For free, so we're giving them out to the public for free. We're installing them for free.
Right.
That doesn't cost anybody a dime. No screens, just trying to keep everybody safe.
Right. I appreciate that.
Another project that we worked on is, we did a little public service announcement campaign. We worked with Mobile Sheriff, Mobile PD, state troopers, lifeguard ambulance, Mobile County ambulance, Humans, Saraland, Mobile Fire, the volunteer fire chief, and we all went in and worked on a public service announcement that went out to all the media here in Mobile County on safe driving techniques and what to do when you see the red light coming up behind you. A lot of times people see the red light come up behind them, they panic, they don't know what to do. So we're trying to get that message out to everybody also. Another project we've got coming up that I'm supposed to get kicked off this month is a project on computers. When we do our fire prevention with the schools, it's very interactive. We play a lot of games with the kids, and we're going to try to find a way to get those games from doing it in person to where the kids can get on a computer and do it. And I spoke to you about that before, about putting it on the city website. Talked to some people from South Alabama, their computer science program, and they're going to have somebody come in and do that for free for us. Not going to cost us a dime. Their seniors have to do a project every year before they graduate, and they're going to have one of their seniors come do that for us. So they're going to be able to get those games that I play in person. They're going to do that on the computer also.
Right.
Another project we're going to do this fall is one we did in Selma that it worked out very well. We worked with kids like 4th through 6th grade and have them draw little fire safety posters. And we're not just going to do that in Semmes. We're going to kind of branch out the surrounding communities, surrounding schools, and have those kids do posters. We're going to take like 13 winning posters and make a calendar out of it. And it worked out really well in Selma. It looked very, very good. Kids love seeing their own artwork on these posters. Something else, it's not exactly fire prevention related. Something else that we did with them was we worked with the Toys for Tots this year. Or this past year. We kind of got a late start on it, but we were able to collect over 100 toys for Toys for Tots. So that worked out real well. We also worked with the Azalea Festival. We had Sparky out there. Everybody always liked Sparky. So we took Sparky to the Azalea Festival. Worked with National Night Out, Heritage Day, Career Day that we had was at the Orchard Church. Assembly of God this year. All the was it 5th grade that does that, I believe. All the surrounding schools. So we're out there with all of them. Sparky was the Grand Marshal of one of the parades at Mardi Gras this year. So he was a pretty big hit with that. our fire prevention program that we do here, it's already getting recognition around here in the surrounding communities. We've already been asked, 'cause a lot of times, if I get asked, I'll do this on my off days, just volunteer to do it. I've been asked to go to Leroy, I went there last year to their high school. A lady from Department of Public Health who works with kids and safety, she's heard about what I do, so she's been asking me to go around with her. I've been to McIntosh and Calvert, several schools down there, or daycare down in Mobile, so we're already getting recognition for our program here. So everything's going very well. This coming October is when Fire Prevention Week occurs. That's when we're really going to get kicked off real heavy. Expecting to be able to talk to about 650, 700 kids. So we're making an impact here.
Right.
Couple quick success stories. This past year at the Fall Festival at Semmes First Baptist, we were just standing around by the fire truck hanging out, and I had a couple came up to me with their daughter, and the daughter said, "I remember you came to my school a couple weeks ago." I said, "Well, what did we teach you?" And she stood up at attention. She said, "You told us not to play with matches with cigarette lighters." I said, "Very good." I said, "What did Granny teach you?" Granny is one of the characters we used when we talked to the kids. And she stood up at attention and said, "Granny said, if you find matches with cigarette lighter, make sure you don't touch them and give them to an adult." So she knew exactly what to do. The very next couple that walked up had a small boy with him. He's about 3, maybe 4 years old. And the mom came up and said, "Did you come up here to this daycare a couple weeks ago?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." I said, "I need to talk to you." And I thought I was in trouble. She said, "That night after you came up here, I was cooking supper, and I had the bread in the oven, and it caught on fire." And Cody, or whatever the 3-year-old's name was, he hollered out fire, said, "We gotta get out of the house. We've got to get on our hands and knees and crawl like a baby," because that's the way I teach the kids. So he was 3 years old, and he knew exactly what to do when he did have fire in the house. So we are making an impact already.
Excellent.
I think that's about all I have. Is there any questions or
It's a great report. Sounds like you're very busy and engaged.
Thank you, thank you.
Very
Yeah.
good.
Mr. Mayor, I have to remark what a great positive influence our personnel in the fire department are on the whole community. We
I
thank
agree.
you
Well, I
very much.
Yes.
Well, I agree.
Thank y'all very much.
Thank you.
Yes.
Very good. Moving on now, we're going to have a presentation by Tyler Hayaski on our City of Semmes digital sign.
Good afternoon.
Hello?
All right, so I know in the past, we had sort of talked about this, Jason and I, possibility of getting a digital sign. The purpose of this presentation is going to be to give you all the information, just so y'all can make an informed decision on whether or not approving funding for this sign. Some of the validation for this would be two key things. One, the city would be able to post important messages for the public to see, and two, it would act double as an advertisement for upcoming city events or anything else that we might have going on. Some project information. There's several benefits. One, of course, like I just said, to keep citizens informed of the upcoming events and important information, whether that be public safety with storms coming up. We've been talking to South Alabama Utilities about a partnership up to $10,000 that they would donate towards it. That way they could display if they had testing or whatever going on for the public. There would also be aesthetically pleasing. The location we're looking at right now is right there in front of the library. It's a high traffic area, center of town, what people consider. And so we would be able to put Semmes Library over the top of that, ornamental type stuff. The next page is it's just a rough sketch of sort of what we have. When I was talking to some of the sign companies just to sort of get some quotes and see kind of where we're at, this is what we're looking at. Pricing estimates. A double-sided digital sign with color, the permits and the installation would be roughly $35,000. If you take that partnership with South Alabama Utilities, that's $10,000. And that would lower that cost some. Materials and framing for construction with ornamental brick. The lighting structure on top of that would be about $3,500. And so that would put you a total amount for approximately $28,500. As far as funding for this project. The project would have to go out to bid, and the price would be determined based on bids that we have coming in. It would take up to 30 days for the advertisements, opening bids, completing the contracts, and then the start of construction. And then the city council would approve a resolution based on the receipt of bids.
Good,
So that's all I have at this time.
that's great. Questions,
Good.
Mr. Smith?
Have we had any coordination about the location of sign yet with the county?
Jason, have you,
Not this time.
not this time?
I reached out to them, but haven't heard back.
Okay, you need to, if you would, push that, because we need to have the location before we go too much farther, because we can go ahead and do the sign part, but, you know who to talk to?
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Well, any questions?
The county would have a say-so in where.
Well, yes, sir, actually, we're talking about the library, you know, the library proper is run by the library board. And of course, we wouldn't be putting it on the right of way, I think we'd be putting it up on library property, which of course is property owned by the county.
Yes, sir.
Well, it will be owned by the county once they finish their process of purchasing the building from CBS.
Yes, sir.
So it will be county property. At the moment, it belongs to CBS. Yeah, kind of convoluted, but, yeah. That answers your
Okay.
question, yes, sir. Mr. Platt, any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. Very good, thank you very much. Very good. Moving on, this is a presentation on a performance grant for installation of bike racks and water fountains. How are you today?
Good.
Good. Glad to have you with us. Good.
I've been talking to the Parks and Recreations Committee about presenting a bike rack campaign between our public high school and middle school. It's been accepted, I think, yes, and we actually approved from the principals at both the high school and the middle school. We talked to the middle school principal this morning, because he's brand new. Now, I know the changes of the high school principal is.
Yeah, there's a new principal at the high school. Yeah.
Yes, so we may have to talk to him, but Mr. Toomey, my former principal, he is approved, he's all for it, so all we need is just the funding for it.
Okay, all right. And Jason, you have all the information you need?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, very good.
We have everything ready. I think Brandy may have some of the information. Do you have it accessible if they need it?
Very good.
I'll have to get it to you.
Okay.
I don't have it.
Just to give you a little background,
Yeah, that's
these
fine.
young ladies brought this to the Parks and Rec Committee a couple months ago, and it's something that they're really, they think it's very important to have bike rec for kids, because there's a lot of sidewalks around there. Kids want to walk to school, want to ride bikes to school, but they have nowhere to store their
Sure,
bikes. So
sure.
that's the genesis of all this. And so we tried to figure out how the city could help, and that's why we checked with the city clerk and the city attorney about how we could help get this thing going, and it pretty much has to go as a grant to the school board to put it on their property. And Mr. Arledge just checked into it, and he's been helping us out with the logistics.
Okay. All right. Did you have anything to say? Okay.
Based on the water fountain idea, I attend MGM. I'm in 9th grade, and I'm a part of the cross-country team and track team, and we run the sidewalks all around the middle school, high school, and elementary school. And basically right now what we're doing to get water is either stopping at the community center in front of the bathrooms or drinking out of a dirty water hose at the community center too. So, you know, it's hot whenever you start running out in that weather, especially this time of the year. And basically we want to store 2 water fountains at Blackwell Nursery, like on one of the corners, and another along Moffett Road near the community center. And I see a bunch of people walking their dogs and their children, and I just feel bad for them because there's nowhere to stop and get water, especially if you're not used to running the course, you know, multiple times a week, because, I don't know, they just don't
Sure.
know where anything's at. But basically, we came up with a price, and it's $842.52 each. And the style that we're looking at, it's one piece, so you don't have to have a base for it. It's stone and it goes in the ground. and so it looks better and it's more durable.
Okay. And are there water pipes to tap into?
Yes.
Okay.
We could access from the community center and from one of the schools.
Okay.
So both locations do have access.
All right.
Yeah. Question.
Yes.
Does it have water fountain up high and then a little water fountain real low for the dogs?
There are water fountains like that, but they're more expensive.
Well, we need to take care of the dogs. I really appreciate the fact that the sidewalks are being so well used, and I would certainly want to encourage that. Could I ask you all to, one more thing? I do appreciate you all coming before the council.
Yes, thank you
so
for being
much.
here today.
One other question, how many bikes, what's the magnitude of this project? About how many bikes do you plan on providing for?
We would start out with 2 bike racks at each school, and if there's more kids who want to come and ride their bikes to school, then we could add more, but each bike rack stores around 10 bikes, so it's a good amount.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Mr. Webb, any questions?
That's good.
Mr. Platt, any questions?
I appreciate these young ladies. We've asked their age group to participate, and they jumped right in. And as far as the number, Mr. Smith, of bike racks, we decided to start with 2. And hopefully it's going to be a lot more, especially as Public Works keeps adding these sidewalks.
Good.
So I'm glad for you.
We appreciate you being here today and sharing the information with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Right. Very good. Moving along, I believe that's it for presentations. We're moving along to financial report. Has the council seen the checks yet?
Okay.
Yeah,
Mr. Platt, you've seen them,
Yeah.
Mr. Webb,
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Very good. Council has seen the checks. Now we'll move on. We have no ordinances today, correct? Okay. And now we're in discussion phase for the proposed resolutions. The first proposed resolution for consideration is amending resolution 2017-26, which is authorizing expenditure of funds for City of Semmes project 2017-005-SL LED street light installation and reoccurring monthly operating costs. The issue here is the document changed from 30 to 31 lights, and that's basically all we're talking about.
That's right. The cost did not change.
Yes, but it would be 31 lights instead of 30, so that's pretty simple there for no additional cost. So, Mr. Smith, any questions on that?
Sounds like a better deal, thank you.
Mr. Webb?
No question.
Mr. Platt?
Good.
Okay. Moving along.
I like a bargain.
Item B, authorizing expenditure of funds to contract with Mistress Group to provide certification of ladder 1. This is the ladder truck, correct, Chief?
Yes.
Okay, and this is a different company from the company we've used in the past. And basically what this expenditure will provide is certification to make sure that when we use our ladder truck in a fire, that it is certified and safe and sound, correct? So that's basically what we're talking about there. We're discussing providing funds for that service, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Smith, any questions?
Very good.
Mr. Webb?
None.
Mr. Platt?
Good.
Okay, very good. Moving on. Item C, authorizing expenditure of funds to purchase surplus vehicles and equipment from the Mobile County Commission. Council has reviewed this. There doesn't appear to be a problem with it, but I want to give council a few minutes to look at the paperwork there. And I believe we're talking about, looks like a 1999 GMC bucket truck, a 2001 tool carrier, and 2005 New Holland TL90. So there you see it, council. Questions, Mr. Smith?
This looks like a very judicious purchase of the surplus equipment, and I think we can make good use of it.
Okay, Mr. Webb?
Looks good to me.
Okay, Mr. Platt?
The only thing I can add to this is that obviously this is used equipment. Some of it may need some repair, but Mr. Franklin has said that even if they can't get it back to its intended purpose, it's still a good vehicle, so,
Very good.
you know.
All right. Next item is resolution for disposition of surplus or unneeded city personal property. This is in regard to a breathing apparatus. We did a few of these at the last council meeting. Basically, I'll let you read that, take a look at it. As you know, with the city's initiative lately on capturing property, accounting for property, and making sure that once we've finished with the usage of an item or piece of equipment, that there is a process and a procedure to move it on out of our system and recoup whatever funds we could recoup. So in this case, it's, I presume from the fire department, chief?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and it's a breathing apparatus, and there you see it. If you have any questions on the actual apparatus, I'll defer to the chief, because I'm not an expert on the 2009 MSA Firehawk M7 self-contained breathing apparatus. I don't cover that.
You don't know
Don't know
everything?
much about that one.
Mayor, if I could.
Yes.
It's actually 21 separate pieces.
Okay.
And NFPA standard comes out with a new standard every 5 years, and we're trying to keep up with that. These are 2009 models, and we replaced all ours back in November or December. And so we have, all brand new SCBA's.
Right.
And these are ones that, we just don't have a need for anymore.
Right. Okay. So
Is
they're
there
just
still
out-
a market for these?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I
They're still
suspect
functional, but they're just
Yes, sir.
outdated.
They're
Functional.
They're functional.
Okay.
It's the whole ensemble. It's the harness with the bottle,
Right.
the face piece, and extra bottles to go with those .1.
Right. Okay. Additional questions, Mr. Smith? Any questions?
Well, we need to fill in a reserve amount, and along with that, I wanted to ask the chief, what would be the proposition on just giving this to one of our neighboring volunteer fire departments? Not necessarily legalities of it, but do any of our neighboring volunteer fire departments need this equipment?
I'm sure some of them do. That's a possibility we can look at.
Okay, the associated question then is if it did not make, if the bid out auction did not result in the reserve amount being exceeded, need to ask our attorney if we would be in the clear to give it away in that case to a volunteer fire department. Certainly would like to have all of those that are in our mutual aid area to be fully equipped if possible, and beyond that, any of the greater area fire departments that might need it.
So you're proposing that we continue with the auction process, but in the event that the reserve amount is not met, then we ask council if we can donate it, right?
Right.
Okay. Did you want to research that?
Yes, sir, I think it's probably
Okay.
gonna be all right, but let me, check
Okay,
it out.
we can go ahead with the other, I think, for now. Excuse me.
Mr. Smith, would you consider the option of just pulling them off the auction and letting as many locals as possible that could use them have them? I mean, we got these mutual aid things in effect, and I like your idea. It's just
Certainly, I would be in favor of doing that if one of our neighbors can use them. They've been paid for by the taxpayers of Mobile County, basically, and so somebody else in the county can use them, but I certainly would.
Chief, would that be acceptable to you?
Yes. It would.
Okay.
Maybe we should let Mr. Harley should look into that and,
This doesn't have to be decided today.
oh, he's good, he'll know in 5 minutes.
Okay.
This same deal
Yes, sir.
is not available to the other cities that have volunteer fire departments.
I don't quite follow you. What do you mean?
We're bidding on, are we bidding on this?
No, sir.
No, sir.
We're trying to sell
Being
it.
given to us?
Yes, sir, we own it.
We're putting it out for auction to get rid of it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
That's fine.
But in answer to his question, I wouldn't restrict, I know I said volunteer fire departments, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't necessarily
Yeah.
restrict it to volunteer.
Okay. The next one is a similar document, or resolution for dispossession of surplus or unneeded city property. This in turnout gear. We know a little bit more about that. 35 pair of pants, 16 coats, 5 helmets, 11 boots. Are these basically, are they still serviceable, or are they worn out?
Most of them are at the end of their life cycle. Some of them
Okay.
are still within the 10-year requirement.
Yeah.
So it's a hodgepodge full of
Right.
different stuff. You know, we could do the same thing with this lot. You know, reach out to our other volunteers if that's the direction the council wants, and the mayor wants to go.
Sure. I understand.
If I might say, this is more in that vein, because I can't really see that there'd be any real financial market for these. There might be for the other, but.
Well, we might want to consider also what we have received from the volunteer fire departments.
Amen, brother.
You know, so.
Okay. Any other discussion on the turnout gear? Anyone? Okay. Next item is authorizing expenditure of funds for advertising in the call news. Council has reviewed this. Doesn't seem to be a legal issue. This is for, I believe, the upcoming football season. And of course, this is to support the Mary G. Montgomery High School football team, and there is the document for your review. Mr. Wood, you have any questions on that?
No, no.
Mr. Smith?
No comment.
Mr. Platt?
No, so I'm good.
Okay, very good. Moving on. Adopting procedure on use of a city-owned vehicle by City of Semmes department heads. Basically, to preface what you're about to read, we wanted to make sure that in the event of, well, in the fire chief's realm, daily operations, and for the public works superintendent, perhaps in the event of an emergency, we wanted to consider authorizing those two city department heads the authority to use a city vehicle. And that would mean they would have the ability to take that vehicle at home at night and have it available for them on a moment's notice. I think in the fire chief's realm in particular, it's a possibility, strong possibility, you could get called out at 2 in the morning to go see what's going on in a particular fire or disaster. And the time you would lose switching out cars would be the time that makes the difference, especially in the time of the decision. So we wanted to give you that option. This is, as it is written, is an option. It's not a requirement. But we wanted to make sure that both you and Public Works Superintendent, Mr. Jason, have that opportunity, that option. You don't have to take it, but we want you to have the option. And that's basically what we're talking about here. I spoke with the city clerk, and she said that she felt at this time it really wasn't necessary for her. So basically we're talking about 2 individuals, 2 vehicles, and that would be the fire chief and the public works superintendent. So that said, as a preface, feel free to read and pose questions.
I totally support this. I think this is very necessary to have an efficient operation of the city, and I think we really need to do this.
Very good. And I think it's a positive move. For example, we talk a lot about fire, but let's say, for example, we get called out in the middle of the night for a storm or a tree down, and the public works superintendent needs to take a look. we don't want him to have to go through the gyrations of driving to Public Works and then driving to the scene. This way he could go directly. But we would leave that to your decision how to do that. I'm not gonna tell you how to do your work, but I just wanted to give you the option, if it's passed, to do that. All right? Okay. Any other comments or questions on that item?
Oh, yeah, could there's,
Yes, sir.
do they have created a debit card for refueling and that sort of thing?
Yes, sir, they do.
Taken care of?
Right, you have a
Okay.
gas card, you have a gas card, yeah. They have a gas card in each of the vehicles, that they can go to quite a few different gas stations and fill up at 2 in the morning, correct, if you need to. We have that contract with Davison Fuel, and Davison Fuel provides that card for us to use, and then we pay them back for it. But that's a good question, yeah, they do. So if they did have to go at 2 in the morning and they jumped in the car and lo and behold, it was near empty, they could fill up if they needed to without problem. I guess you want to check on those. Are all those, I guess we need to find out where the stations are that would be open.
I've never had one
Yeah.
deny it,
Yeah,
but I
Yeah.
think they're pretty much can use them just about anywhere.
I mean, at 2 in the morning, I guess.
Oh, which stations are open?
Yeah, we might want to check on that,
Mhm.
because I'm sure there are a
Very
few
limited.
that are always open,
Yeah.
but there might be a few that operate with just a swipe of a card and allow you to pump.
Yeah.
So we might want to check on that, Chief. Jason, find out, we know where those are.
It might be a little bit like my wife. Don't bring a vehicle home near empty.
That's right.
So I have to,
You remember that, Chief?
if she wants to go, it's gotta have fuel.
Fill them up.
I'd like to add also that Mr. Franklin and Chief Brooks have really proven themselves to be professionals, and
Amen.
Yes.
they have taken on many hats. So it's not just the fire chief or the public works supervisor. They also wear the hats of communications officer and CIO, and I mean, you know,
Very good point.
these guys are doing a lot of jobs. So
Very good point.
yeah, they need to know they're appreciated.
Very good point. Very good. I believe that's it for ordinances, no, I'm sorry, for proposed resolutions. Moving on to committee reports. First is finance with Mr. Smith.
Mayor Baker, we are now in the fourth quarter,
Wow. We're moving on.
which means that the Finance Committee, which meets next Monday, will begin in earnest for preparing for our recommendations for the budget for the following year.
Right.
With the financial data that's coming in right at this moment, we think that'll give us the final data point for being able to forecast with some kind of confidence the income for the following year from which we will be budgeting our expenses. In terms of other projects going on, we have the expectation of having over half of one of our local subdivisions signed in by this Saturday, actually.
Wonderful.
So that project is moving apace. So that's the report pending our meeting next Monday.
That's good news. Good news. Questions, Mr. Webb?
None.
Mr. Platt? Questions? All right, moving on next is roadways and right-of-ways, public works. Mr. Webb.
All right. I have a note here that we started resurfacing today.
Good.
Resurfacing Mars Hill and Aragon. The next one is letting the storm drain on Don and Paula Street. Thank you. Pretty close to me, to my road. Moffett and McCrary. We're gonna get into that too much. Contractors working on widening the south side of Moffett. Because I have a lot of people ask me, when are they gonna finish? I said, they gotta do the underground work first. You can't do the paving, then do the underground work. It's got to be, all that's gotta be done. And we'll talk about fire station number 1 again. I'll tell you, I really appreciate the work done down there. That was I went by there and you would not believe what had to be dug out and made fit to pour concrete drainage system in there. And the front of the building is looks like a fire station. I mean, it's looks like it's occupied. And 90% of the work is complete and should be finished by tomorrow. So we thank you all for that. That was a mean, tough little job. I
Yeah.
mean, it was like I say, the rain held them up, and with the hole dug out there, some of it about 2 feet deep or so. Couldn't put a fire truck in there because we couldn't get it
Right.
out.
Right.
But it did great work. Very, very good. Keep up the good work.
All right. Good
Be
news.
safe. God bless you.
Mr. Smith, any questions?
No question.
Mr. Platt, any questions?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Moving on to public safety. Chairman, Mr. Terry Platt.
I think that we've pretty well had our reports on fire and rescue. Next up, of course, is working with the SO. It's time for us to take a good hard look at where we're at and where we're going. We do have a new supervisor, Corporal Hardy. Do you have anything to?
Yes, sir, I'd just like to introduce myself. Corporal Hardy with the Sheriff's Department. Been some internal transfers here lately, and I've been selected the new supervisor, Semmes.
Great. Thank you.
Great.
I'm excited to be here. You know, I'm gonna do the best job I can for you. We've got our own challenges, based on the personnel that we're allotted. You know, we're gonna do the best job we can for you. Okay, the next city council meeting, we're gonna provide our crime report to you. And we're gonna cover probably June the 15th to June the 30th. And what we'd like to do is, you know, we're gonna prepare our numbers, basically from this year compared to last year, and show you what's going on there. And I'll get with you, Mr. Platt, about possibly incorporating some significant events. And there's, you know, we'll have some photographs, and I'll make sure they're appropriate for the meeting and things. And I'm just trying to give you the idea of what is taking place out there that you're not seeing. But other than that, I'm glad to be here. Any questions for me?
Well, we're glad to have you, and we met, I
Yes.
think last week, we had a chance to talk, and as you all know, Corporal Hardy fills a very, very important part with our Sheriff's Department. We have a contract for police protection, police support from Mobile County Sheriffs, and fortunately, we have you to be our battalion and help us out with that situation. So I do appreciate it, and I know that the county's been very busy. I think the last report we had, last 2-week period, was about 550 calls. So that's a lot of road time, that's a lot of people
Yes, sir.
on the street. So we look forward to your next report.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Smith, you have a question?
We appreciate that you're on board and you're on the case, and we thank you very much.
Okay. Mr. Webb, have any questions?
Just thank you very, very much. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Mr. Platt, it's your committee, so what, you have more comments?
Well, I'm glad that he's here, and we've already started to communicate, and I'm very optimistic we're gonna get busy and get things as right as we can. But I think they're kind of ahead of me. If you looked around the fireworks deal, there were enough deputies out there to start a small SO somewhere, so they're doing their job.
Yeah. I noticed troopers were out this weekend too.
Yes, sir.
We all need to slow down.
Don't we?
We all need to slow down. And I think it's also important to remind everybody to please lock your doors. Lock your car doors.
That's
Don't leave things in your cars that can be seen. And by all means, keep your doors to your houses locked. You've got to help the police. You have to help us. And by locking, you've just made it that much harder. It's a simple thing to do, but so often, I mean, I've talked to you and other officials in the Sheriff's Department. Quite often, it's a target of opportunity. Someone goes by, they want to break the law, they're going to go with the easiest option. And if you leave your car unlocked or the door to your house unlocked, We've made it easy for them, and we don't want to do that. So,
Yes, sir.
yeah, we did put the word out on that, and well, the word's out, but we just need to remind people. We all have to remind people. Very good. Mr. Platt, your other hat, Parks and Rec. Do you have
Parks
anything?
and Recreation is, everything's absolutely wonderful. By and large, due to Mr. Shire's passing and a few other issues, I suggested that we take the responsibility of the special events into the Parks Committee, at least for the time being,
Sure,
because everything we do is at one of our facilities by and large.
true.
And when you have Public Works and Miss Daly handling everything, I have nothing to report.
Very good.
Everything is good.
And as you know, the city-sponsored event on 3rd of July was a big success, huge success. We talked about it earlier, but
Oh, it was.
big crowds, big crowds. Everyone had a great time. The weather cooperated, and a good time was had. So, very good. All right, are there any other council, legal counsel, or staff comments? Sir?
Regarding the fire department equipment,
Right.
there's a code section 9318 that allows the donation of such items to volunteer fire department, if that's the way y'all want to handle
Yeah, I told you he'd do it.
That's right.
it. Under 5 minutes.
You said he was fast,
Well, he's had it for a while, he just had an opportunity
waiting.
to tell us, yeah.
kind of like Scotty on Star Trek,
Yeah.
you know, he knew the answer.
Mr. President, if I may, before we close, I would like, you know I can't be quiet for too long, but
I know.
let's not let the library issue pass into the archives of the history of Semmes without recognizing Mr. Arledge's Midnight Oil and Muir and Mr. Smith's and everybody. I mean, this was hours and hours and hours of work, and I think that the public should be very happy and proud of you guys. I mean, thank you, Mr. Holmes. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Well, thank you.
Mr. Mayor, thank you.
Well, it was, as you say, we wrestled with this problem for 4.5 months, and it was, as you say, many, many hours and many, many discussions, many, many meetings, and fortunately, when all was said and done, the library will continue on as it continues today, and all for the better. So this is a very good thing, but I agree. Thank you, Mr. Arledge, for all your help on that. I know you spent many hours talking to CVS, and negotiating with a major corporation in Rhode Island as their headquarters is not easy. And you found that out.
A little bit of
Probably write a
a
book on it.
language conflict.
Yeah, yeah.
The guy, first, when I was talking to the guy, first time he called me, he said he was gonna talk slow. So we could understand what the Northerners were doing.
Well, okay.
Miss Daly, you not gonna ask for any money today? Something's wrong?
No, I'm good, I'm pretty
Really?
much.
Really?
Okay,
All right.
all right. All right,
I'm
well,
about to
that's
spin off
funny.
of it, so.
That's funny. Did he do that? Did he indeed speak slowly?
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. All right, and is there any other business that might come before the work session?
Move your adjourn.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned until, let's give ourselves 10 minutes till, what would that be, about, what time is it now? 4:20, we will begin the regular meeting at 4:20. Okay. So, 10-minute break for everybody, enjoy.
428.
4:28. The regular session of the City of Semmes City Council is now called to order at 4:28 p.m. Roll call, please.
Mayor Baker,
Here.
Councilmember Watts is absent, Councilmember Smith,
Here.
Councilmember Webb,
Here.
Councilmember Platt.
Here.
Very good. Just as a reminder to everyone, this is a legal meeting. We have 4. That is what is required for a quorum to have a meeting. So we are in compliance and we will move on. And now, we will ask, Miss Byrd, are you still here? Would you mind doing our invocation? And we're going to ask Chief if you would do the pledge. Okay?
Father, we thank you that you're our God, that you're King of kings and Lord of lords. We thank you, Father, for this meeting. We thank you for the freedom to assemble together, Father, to govern ourselves, Lord. We thank you for this. Father, we need your wisdom in this meeting and all that is done. May it all be done to your honor and to your glory. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Amen.
Join me in saying the pledge. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great, thank you both. Appreciate it. All right, next item is item 5, consideration of the minutes from regular council session of June 20, 2017. Give you a moment to look at those.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Very good. The regular minutes from the regular session of June 20 are approved. Do we have any presentations or guest speakers?
No, sir.
All right. Next item is the financial report. This is the approval of checks for signature. I believe I asked during the working session if everyone had reviewed the checks. Are there any questions regarding check approval, Mr. Smith?
No question.
Mr. Webb? Mr. Platt?
No, sir.
Very good.
I move we approve.
Second.
Okay, roll call vote?
Councilmember Smith?
Yes.
Councilmember Webb?
Yes.
Councilmember Platt?
Yes.
Mayor Baker?
Yes. Very good. The checks are approved for signature as of this date. There are no ordinances. Before we discuss resolutions, it would appear that the items regarding the unneeded city personal property should be pulled. Is that correct? Because we don't want to go through, I think the council said we don't want to go through the auction process. Is that true, council?
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to pull items, let's see, that is
D and E.
D and E are coming out. Items D and E are coming out. We were going to submit those for auction and for a refund, a small refund on the amount for the purchase, but I believe it's the consensus of council that those items, since it is legal, we will donate those. We will discuss to who at a later date. But items D and E are off the table. At the present time, we have items A, B, C, F, and G for immediate consideration. Also, is there a call for a motion to add discussion on the city council vacancy? Does anyone wish that added to the agenda?
Yes.
Okay. Are you making that motion?
Yes.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay. We will add that to the resolutions for consideration, for immediate consideration. And that will take the place of item FGH.
Can we do a roll call vote on that?
Yes, let's do a roll call vote on adding that.
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, Councilmember Smith?
Yes.
Councilmember Webb?
Yes.
Councilmember Platt?
Yes.
Mayor Baker?
Yes. And now for immediate consideration on the other items, which is items 9A, B, C, F, and G. Is there a motion for immediate consideration for these resolutions?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote?
Councilmember Smith?
Yes.
Councilmember Webb?
Yes.
Councilmember Platt?
Yes.
Mayor Baker?
Yes. Very good. We are good to go. All right, moving along. We discussed this in the work session. This is an amendment for a resolution regarding the LED street lights. As you know, from what I understand on this resolution, there's no increase in cost. It's simply a change in the number of lights from 30 to 31, correct? So, that being said, are there any questions on 9A, Mr. Smith?
No, and I move we approve.
Okay, Mr.
Second.
Campbell? Okay, very good. Roll call vote?
Councilmember Smith?
Yes.
Councilmember Webb?
Yes.
Councilmember Platt?
Yes.
Mayor Baker?
Yes, very good. Moving on to item B, authorizing the expenditure of funds to contract with Mistress Group to provide certification of ladder number 1, ladder truck number 1. This is to provide basically safety and operation certification for the ladder truck, correct? Okay, and the
It's
idea that,
actually ladder 3.
ladder 3,
Yes,
that's the number on it?
yeah.
Ladder truck number 3? Okay. And if you've seen those periodically, is it, what is it, yearly?
This year.
Those have to be inspected by a certified inspector and deemed safe in case we have the unforeseen happen and one of our firefighters gets up there and it doesn't do its job. So this is basically a safety measure. And of course, if they find that the ladder truck is not safe, we of course will not use it until it's made safe.
Well, they'll provide a list of
Yeah.
everything that.
A list of
We have to meet.
deficiencies.
And,
Yeah.
and when we meet those, then
Right.
we'll get the certification letter.
Okay. Do they come out and recheck to make sure you've done what they ask you to do or not?
The company that will do the repairs will send that to Ms. Ross.
I see. So if deficiencies are found, then the list of deficiencies is sent to the company for repair, and then that company sends a document to the safety certifier, and that closes the loop, right? And then we get our certificate.
Right.
Okay, very good. And how long does that take?
It takes probably about a month to get that
Okay.
back.
Is it currently in compliance, or is it out of service for that?
Yeah, it's still under compliance.
It's still within the previous certification?
Right, I think it's,
Okay.
I think we have till about September, October.
Okay, so you're just kind of getting ahead of it a little bit?
Yes.
Okay, all right, and you feel comfortable with it now?
Yes.
It's certified for the moment? Okay, and this would run from 1 November for a year, is that right, Mike? Okay,
And when we get certified to the year after that.
okay, all right. Very good. I just wanted to ask a few questions from my own knowledge to make sure I was straight. Mr. Smith, do you have a question?
Well, of course, this should be in the regular budget, and so I'd ask, is this an extra appropriation, or is this from the budget, previously budgeted funds?
It's in my equipment
Very good, thank you.
budget.
Okay. Very good. Mr. Webb, any questions on that?
None.
Mr. Platt? Any
No, sir.
questions? Okay.
I move we approve it as amended.
Second.
Okay, is there, roll call vote?
All right, Councilmember Smith?
Yes.
Councilmember Webb?
Yes.
Councilmember Platt?
Yes.
Mayor Baker?
Yes. It is approved. Item is approved. Very good. Next item is authorizing the expenditure of funds to purchase surplus vehicles and equipment from the Mobile County Commission. Very good. I think we discussed this in the work session. And let's see, let me pull up my piece of paper so we can discuss it. Let's see here. Does everybody have their paper in front of them? Okay. The total on this is $8,250, and it's for 3 items. Is that correct, Jason?
Yes.
Correct, okay. And can you, just for the purpose of our knowledge, can you elaborate a little bit on what these 3 vehicles, these 3 items do?
Sure. The first item, I believe on your list was the 99 bucket truck.
Okay.
Basically, we could use that to change banners out, work on street lights, change out bulbs, things like that. Every time we do it now, we have to rent a trailer pulled man lift, and it's a couple $100 every time we rent it. So it's not totally operable, but our mechanic looked at it and said he thinks he can get it back to operability. Worst case scenario, we can use it as a truck. The truck's fine. The truck runs great. Just the mechanism on the back is what needs to be serviced. The second item, I believe, was they call it a wheel loader. What that is basically is a huge front end loader. It's something we could use for emergency preparedness, debris removal, stuff like that. It's a giant loader that you can load dump trucks with. You can do it. It's got rubber tires, so you can take on the roadway if you need to. That's a mechanic. Our mechanic looked at that too. It's fully functional. He drove it around their lot, operated it, works fine. They got a whole new slew of them, so they're auctioning off. They had 3 or 4 of them to get rid of, and I think Chickasaw is trying to get them too, so we need to hurry. And the other one was the, I believe it was the, what was it?
New Holland.
New Holland. That's a big, it's a large agricultural tractor, which we could again remove debris with it. It's just another piece of equipment that we could put a loader on it. We can put box blade. We can put just anything that we want to, any attachment we want to use for debris removal, or we could use it every day on cutting right of ways and cutting our Morris Hill properties and stuff like that. So just a tremendous deal. That one has a little bit of work that needs to be done. Some of the arms that hold onto the attachments needs to be replaced, and one of the tires needs to be replaced. That's why we asked for a little bit more than the asking price. We want to get them tagged. We want to get them lettered, put our City of Semmes seal on them. Some of them need some lights so we can make them street legal, street safe. So that's the reason for the extra amount. I think the prices were $3,500, something like that. $4,500, whatever it was. So we asked for $8,000 just for those extras.
And you feel like you can get these all running?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they're all of them are running. It's just that bucket truck needs a little
Does
bit
that require special certification?
No.
It doesn't like the fire truck ladder? It doesn't?
No.
It just needs to work?
Yes.
Okay. I know you'll be careful.
Yes.
We're not gonna put somebody up there unless it's safe.
Right.
Yeah. I guess you'll test it somehow.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you say gonna put you up.
I'm gonna put you up. Okay, thanks, Jason. Appreciate that. All right. If I don't fall out, it's good to go. There we go. Okay. Any other questions on item resolution 9C, Mr. Smith?
Well, I really appreciate them putting in the extra amount for making these things fully, pretty much fully operable, and so we have extremely low risk, and I'm all for doing this job.
Okay. Mr. Webb?
No question.
Mr. Platt?
I'm good. Let's make a motion we approve.
Second.
Okay, roll call vote?
Councilmember Smith?
Yes.
Councilmember Webb?
Yes.
Councilmember Platt?
Yes.
Mayor Baker?
Yes. Item 9C is approved. Moving on, as you know, items D and E were withdrawn. Item F, authorizing the expenditure of funds for advertising in the Call News. We talked about this during the work session. This is for football for the Mary G. Montgomery Vikings for the upcoming season. Any further discussion on that, Mr. Smith?
None.
Okay, Mr. Webb?
None.
Mr. Platt?
No, sir.
Okay, and council has no problem with this. We're good to go. Very good. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote?
Councilmember Smith?
Yes.
Councilmember Webb?
Yes.
Councilmember Platt?
Yes.
Mayor Baker?
Yes. Very good. That's approved. Item 9F is approved. Item 9G, adopting procedures on use of a city-owned vehicle by City of Semmes department heads. In particular, we're talking about the gentleman in charge of Public Works and the fire chief. This gives them the authorization to take their vehicles home at night and have them available in case they're called out in the middle of the night. And also, as Mr. Platt so accurately pointed out, they have a myriad of other duties that they fulfill, and we don't want them to have to waste time playing car exchange in the middle of the night. So, it's kind of up to you. As again, it's not a requirement that you do it, but we want you to know that you can do it if you wish. If this is approved, you can do it starting immediately. Very good. Mr. Smith, any discussion?
I fully support this.
Okay. Mr. Webb?
I support it, yes.
Mr. Platt?
Good.
I support this too. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, roll call vote?
All right, Councilmember Smith?
Yes.
Councilmember Webb?
Yes.
Councilmember Platt?
Yes.
Mayor Baker?
Yes. Very good. Item 9G is approved. Very good. Moving to 9H, which is a vacancy on the city council. Discussion, Mr. Webb.
I don't have any discussion to do, I just, you know, like a motion, give everybody a chance to discuss it.
Yes, sir.
We have the vacancy, and we have a candidate, and ready to go to work. So if you have any comment or whatever.
Okay, can you identify the gentleman?
Mr. Lee Lawshie, want to stand up, brother? Let us look at you.
Very good. Very good. Mr. Lee Lawshie. Very good. Any other comment, Mr. Webb?
None.
Mr. Smith, any comment?
Well, I'd like Mr. Washington to, if you would, come to the podium, and maybe we could ask him questions, or maybe you could talk to us.
Okay. Somebody's backing up. How are you, sir?
I'm fine right now.
Good, 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 good. We love to put people on the spot, call them to the podium and give them a microphone. Basically, I think I've met you, we had talked. Mr. Smith, do you have questions?
Well, let's see, I guess the question we'd ask is, what, I suppose everybody knows you, but in any case, what is your vision, what is your thought about where the city of Semmes should be going?
Well, I think first of all, you gotta think about the people. And then whatever the decision we make in this council, be for the good of the people and for the city as a whole.
Amen.
Very good.
Do you anticipate Semmes growing to be a big metropolis, or basically what?
I don't really think it would ever be a big metropolis myself. Now, could be in the future, but, you know, not as right now.
Just a good place to live?
I've been here 67 years.
Amen.
Very good.
That's quite a period of time. Very good.
And what is your philosophy? Do you have a philosophy if you were to be on the council? What would be your basis for making decisions on these different issues?
Well, like I said, be for the good of the people, you know. What do we do? Not something for ourselves.
Right.
We need to serve the people.
Amen.
Good.
Thank you.
Mr. Lawshie, I guess you know that you can't please everybody. You're gonna probably make some people very, very unhappy with you.
Well, I understand that.
You understand?
I coached baseball at the park for 19 years.
Never had any parent mad at you.
And you got to please 15 sets of parents when you can only play 9 ball players.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Well, as a personal note, I kind of found myself in a difficult position. I think the state law says that Class 8 city, the city council gets to appoint someone to fill a vacancy, and I think it's a huge responsibility. And I know very little about Mr. Lawshie other than he comes highly recommended, and that comes from a person that I don't question, and that's good enough for me.
I have just,
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
yes, sir, just have a couple of questions. You've certainly observed our meetings and the way we operate. How do you think, if you were chosen to be a member of the council, you could contribute to that?
well, if whatever you're discussing, you still got to try to make the right decision for the overall city.
Right.
Have you ever successfully won an argument with Mr. Webb?
Well, I don't know if I've ever had an argument with Lawrence.
No.
One of you wasn't listening.
Very good.
Amen.
And you are a registered voter
Yes,
in the
sir.
city of Semmes. Okay, and you are over 18?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
I have another question.
And he's a resident of the city of Semmes.
right. You voted in the last election, did you not?
No, we got annexed right after the election.
Okay.
So I have,
But there was, excuse me, just a minute. He had to sign 3 petitions, or petition 3 times to come, at least 3 times,
3 times.
to come in to be voted on.
Yes.
The other petitions kept disappearing.
Mr. Arledge, if he came into the city right after the election, will he have fulfilled the time requirement?
I don't,
What is it?
It's 30 days
months?
prior to the vacancy is
Oh,
what's
okay.
required by law.
For the vacancy, that's
Mhm.
different than, okay.
As long as you're a citizen 30 days prior. And
Okay.
of course, I have to verify with the Board of Registrars and all that, but before you guys make a decision.
Very good.
well, my question, additional question was this. You know, we'll leave Frank here. What do you bring to the table? Your experience, you know, tell us about your life work and your experience. And, in other words, do you know some stuff? We don't know much, but you know, when they bring
Well, I can tell you,
these,
I worked all my life, been a carpenter all my life.
right,
You
when
know,
they bring these projects to us, you know some stuff about what they're
Yeah.
talking about. Okay, can you tell us just briefly what kind of work you've done, supervisory work or anything like that? Projects or whatever?
one, for instance, I completed the remodeled Skyline Country Club, which is here in Lakes Country Club now. I built houses, started out with a guy, gave me a job when I graduated in 1958, and me and another boy that got the job, we dug the septic tank hole in the field out for the show. And that was tractor to do it then, but, I just followed that thing, finish concrete, whatever it takes to do to build houses, I've done that. I worked on a lot of big commercial stuff. Matter of fact, I just worked, full last month, I stayed in Monroe for 5.5 months, put an addition on the Alabama Power Company building. I was running a job for a company out of Montgomery, Holly Henry Building. And I also did a job for them down at Bishop State on Dolphin Island Parkway. Did a lot of paving, sidewalk, curbs, new guard shack, big electronic sign. One of these that put messages on, all that goes in front of there. And basically just whatever it takes to get something done.
That's a good slogan.
Yes.
Yeah,
Very
right there.
good.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Any other questions from council?
I had one,
Mr. Willard, have one?
sorry.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson, appreciate it.
Good. Is there any further discussion?
Mayor, I don't really know the procedure. What do we do after this? Do we,
Motion?
Make a motion?
motion, how should that motion be worded?
I would, you need to verify.
Well, no, not necessarily. I guess, before we're sworn in at least, I would like to verify just that, just like we did with the election, that he's a qualified voter and has been in the city limits for the amount of time set out in state code, so.
You could say, move to elect and appoint, is it a certain council place number?
5.
5. Move to elect, and appoint the candidate, to fill the vacancy, for council place 5, subject to verification of, residence and electoral status.
Sounds good.
I don't know if it's a point of order or not, but isn't it normal for us to have a ballot on this? In other words, a secret ballot? Really?
No,
It's not.
it's just a council vote majority.
Well, I know it can be done that way, but
You're not required to.
I know I'm not required to, but I just thought that was have it placed there.
Is that your preference, Mr. Smith?
Well, I think that's a good way of handling it
Would you?
going
I would
forward.
make the motion, entertain a motion that we voted for or against publicly. So we,
Mr. Arledge, may I borrow your, can I decipher them? Is it Southern English?
It's possibly. Let me finish.
Do we have need to have an effective date on that, the date of swearing in on that?
would recommend the next council meeting with the appropriate personnel here to swear him in if he's elected.
You know what the next meeting date is? It's the 18th.
18th should be.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I move to elect and appoint Mr. Lawsey to fill the vacancy in Council Place 5, subject to verification of city residents and electoral status to be sworn in on July the 18th, 2017.
Second motion.
Roll call vote?
Councilmember Smith,
Yes.
Councilmember Webb,
Yes.
Councilmember Platt,
Yes.
Mayor Baker.
Yes. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you, Ron.
Very good. Any comments or announcements? Any public comments?
No, sir.
Okay. Is there any other business that might come before the meeting? Very good.
Move to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? We are adjourned.
Mayor, what would you do if somebody opposed?
Huh?